There's a moment. Maybe it happened this morning. Maybe it was late last night when the house finally got quiet. You walked past the laundry basket, or stood in front of the sink, or looked at that one counter. The one that somehow is capable of collecting every random thing in the house, no matter how many times you clear it. And you paused. Not because you didn't know what needed to be done. You knew exactly what needed to happen, but because something inside you felt tired. And I don't mean the kind of tired that a good night's sleep can fix. I mean mentally, emotionally done. Because it's not just about the laundry, is it? It's the repetition. It's the constant returning. It's the heavy quiet of knowing that no matter how much you pour yourself into these tasks today, they will all be right back here waiting for you tomorrow. The towels, the dishes, the crumbs, the questions, the constant noticing. And after a while, it can start to feel like your effort disappears overnight. Like you're running a race with no finish line, like no one really sees how much you're carrying because so much of it is happening silently. I remember one night standing in the kitchen after everybody had gone to bed. The dishwasher was humming. There were folded towels on the table waiting to be put away, and somehow there was already another dish in the sink. I just stood there staring at it. Not crying, not angry, just tired in that quiet way that nobody really talks about. That underneath, I felt exhaustion as another feeling. And another quiet one is resentment. Not loud, not explosive, just subtle little thoughts like, why am I always the one noticing this? Or, it would be nice if someone else offered to help. Or, I wish I didn't have to ask. And almost immediately after those thoughts comes guilt. Because you love your family, you love your people, so you tell yourself you shouldn't feel this way. So you push it down, keep moving, keep handling, and keep carrying it. But friend, this isn't really about the laundry. This is about the invisible load. The mental list running before our feet even hit the floor in the morning. The constant remembering, the anticipating, the organizing, the emotional labor of keeping life moving. In that kind of way, it affects us. So today we're going to talk about that. Not just about what you're doing, but about what you're feeling while you're doing it. Because your feelings are not failures, they are signals and they have great information for you. And that's okay. Welcome to And That's Okay, the podcast that empowers you to master your emotional world. I'm Lisa Renee Scott, your host and a passionate believer that every feeling is a signal and every signal holds power. In a world that often tells us to ignore or dismiss our emotions, I'm here to remind you that whatever you're feeling, it's for a reason, and that's okay. Each week, we'll dive into real-life challenges, share relatable experiences, and equip you with the framework to name it, claim it, and navigate it, transforming your feelings into your greatest guides. So let's take a deep breath, lean in, and unlock the power of your emotions. I think one of the reasons this feeling catches so many people off guard because nothing is technically wrong. Life is moving, the family is functioning, the house is standing, but emotionally, you're carrying a lot more than people realize. Because overwhelm doesn't come from one giant moment. Sometimes it comes from thousands of tiny responsibilities that never fully end. And when those responsibilities feel unseen, resentment quietly slips in beside them. So let's name this honestly. This is overwhelm paired with resentment, maybe guided by guilt, and rooted in repetition and invisibility. Overwhelm says there's too much. Resentment says, why does this feel like I'm carrying so much of this alone? And then guilt steps in and says, I shouldn't feel this way. And sometimes the hardest part is that you may not even need someone to completely take over. Maybe you just want someone to notice, to say, hey, I see how much you did today. The house looks amazing. Or, I've got this. You go take a break. Because being the one who carries the mental load means you're not just doing the task. You're thinking about it before it happens, while it's happening, and after it's done. And that's exhausting. And if you've been feeling emotional over dishes, or irrationally irritated by the shoes left in the hallway, or one more person asking what's for dinner, you're probably not reacting to that moment. You're reacting to an accumulation of moments. So let's claim it. Let's claim those feelings without shaming ourselves for having them. Feeling overwhelmed does not make you weak. Feeling resentful does not make you selfish. And feeling mentally exhausted does not make you ungrateful. It makes you aware that your capacity has limit, aware that you may need more support, more communication, more rest, more shared responsibility, or maybe simply more acknowledgement. And I think sometimes we try so hard to be grateful that we accidentally invalidate ourselves in the process. Both can exist. We can love our life and still feel exhausted by the weight of maintaining it. You can love your family and still wish someone would notice what needs to be done without being asked. You can be grateful and still need support. And that's okay. Now let's navigate it. How do we move through this in a healthy way? Not perfectly, not all at once, but intentionally. Because these next steps may sound simple on the surface, but they matter deeply. The way we experience repetitive responsibility affects our nervous system, our relationships, our emotional capacity, and even the way we speak to ourselves internally over time. And when overwhelm goes unaddressed for too long, resentment usually follows. So let's walk through this together. Number 1, shift have to get to. Instead of I have to do the laundry, try I get to care for the people I love. And you know what? We have clothes on our back. Instead of I have to clean the kitchen, try we got to gather here today. We had food on our plate. We had moments to pause during the day. Now listen, this is not pretending that everything feels positive. This is not toxic positivity. This is about perspective. Because studies in psychology have consistently shown that gratitude practices can reduce stress levels, improve emotional resilience, and help regulate overwhelm over time. Not because the tasks disappear, but because your brain stops experiencing every responsibility as a burden or a threat. And sometimes that tiny mental shift matters more than we realize. Because resentment grows faster when everything feels heavy all the time. Action step number 2, stop waiting for done. This one changed a lot for me personally. I realized I kept chasing this imaginary moment where everything would finally be finished. But homes aren't designed to stay done. Life isn't designed that way. And honestly, our brains struggle with unfinished tasks. There's actually psychological research showing that unfinished responsibilities tend to stay active in our minds longer, creating mental tension and cognitive overload. Which means if our brain constantly feels like everything is unfinished, you never fully rest mentally. So instead of trying to finish everything, and that's air quotes, finish everything, I started creating rhythms. Laundry on certain days, small resets instead of marathon cleaning, giving responsibilities to a home on my schedule instead of carrying them mentally all day long. And that matters because structure reduces decision fatigue. When our brain already knows this gets handled on Tuesday, or we reset the kitchen before bed, it helps stop spending so much energy repeatedly scanning for what needs to happen. And honestly, that helped my nervous system breathe. Action step number 3, let other people step in. This one can feel uncomfortable because sometimes we move so quickly to handle things that nobody else even has a chance to notice that there's a need there. So pause occasionally, leave some space, not passive aggressively, not a test, just enough space for shared awareness to grow. Because resentment often grows where responsibility stays invisible. And here's something important. Research around emotional labor and household mental load continues to show that acknowledgement matters almost as much as physical help. Feeling seen matters. Feeling considered matters. Feeling like someone notices our effort before burnout hits, that matters emotionally in a very real way. So communicate before a resentment becomes exhaustion. Not from blame, not from scorekeeping, but from honesty. Say something like, I'm feeling mentally overloaded today. Or, honey, I could use some support. Or, I don't want to carry all of this silently anymore. These conversations create connection instead of quiet resentment. Action step number 4, find the funny. The mystery sock, the cup collection beside the bed, the fact that the floor somehow crunches 5 minutes after you begin sweeping. Sometimes laughter creates just enough distance from frustration to help us soften. And there's real science behind that too. Laughter helps regulate stress hormones, releases physical tension in the body, and interrupts emotional spiraling. Which means humor is not avoiding the hard feelings. Sometimes it's helping your body recover from them. And honestly, sometimes you either laugh or you cry in the laundry room. And both are completely understandable. I've been in both situations. Action step number 5, recognize what you are actually doing. This may be the most important one. At the end of the day, try shifting your reflection from, I didn't get everything done, to, I helped sustain life today. Because you're not just washing dishes. You're feeding people. You're caring for people, creating comfort, maintaining stability, supporting the emotional rhythm of the home. And when repetitive tasks feel meaningless, burnout grows quickly. But then when we reconnect responsibility to purpose, it changes the emotional experience of carrying it. Not perfectly, but meaningfully. So the next time you walk past the laundry basket or stand at the sink or notice the 100 little things calling your attention, pause. Notice what's happening underneath the task. Notice the weight. Notice the repetition. Notice the emotional labor attached to constantly being the one who remembers. And if overwhelm is there, if resentment is sitting quietly right next to it, let yourself acknowledge that. Not with shame or guilt, just awareness. Because you're not failing. You are sustaining a life, a household, maybe a family. You are carrying routines, responsibility, comfort, care, schedules, meals, memories, and emotional energy in ways that often do go unseen. That matters. And maybe the goal isn't perfection. Maybe it's awareness. Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's creating rhythms instead of chasing the completion. Maybe it's allowing yourself to receive support instead of carrying everything by yourself silently. Whatever it is, you don't have to earn your worth through exhaustion. And you're allowed to admit when something feels off. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. You are not alone in this moment. And that's okay. Thanks for tuning into this episode of And That's Okay. I hope our conversation left you feeling validated, empowered, and equipped with practical steps to name it, claim it, and navigate it in your own life. If you found value in today's message, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear that their feelings are valid too. And if you're ready to dive deeper into transforming your emotional landscape, you'll definitely want to grab a copy of my book, And That's Okay. It's available on Amazon or through my website. Just check the link in my bio or the captions of this episode. For daily inspiration, reflections, and more tools to support your growth, come connect with me on social media. I'd love to hear how you're applying the Name It, Claim It, Navigate It framework in your own life. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder, I'm not a licensed doctor or therapist. I'm simply sharing experiences and insights that have helped me and countless others along the way. My mission is to empower you with tools, not to replace professional medical advice. Remember, whatever you're feeling or going